Hey BookTube! My name is the Book Mage, welcome back to my channel, and to 2024. I'm not sure the passing of a new year makes anything actually any different, but it feels different. And I am here today to talk to you very quickly, very briefly, about my new reading goals for the year going forward. So previously, one of the reading goals that I had for last year 2023 was that I wanted to read and progress with more series, and I am still going to be keeping that sort of a priority. Like, I don't want to start a series and then let it stagnate and sort of have just read book 1 and then it's been like 4 years and I've still not read book 2. So that is still kind of going to be like a rollover goal for me. However, I'm not just going to be focusing on all the series that are already on like my currently reading list, if that makes sense. I'm not going to be like feeling bad or punishing myself about starting as many new series as I want, just so long as I either decide whether I'm going to continue with them and then like actually doing so, actually making progress in new series, or deciding that like I don't want to read something and just like letting myself get rid of it and DNF it. The main reason for this is there are so many good series that I want, and I did notice over the course of 2023 I would want to pick up a book and I would kind of notice that it's actually the first book in a series and that I didn't want to like make my reading tracker look bad, and that's stupid. Like, if I want to pick up a book, I should just be able to pick it up and not have to worry about how many ongoing series I have. So for this year, I'm not going to worry about the amount of ongoing series that I have. If it goes up and up and up, that's fine. It just means that I am reading books and I'm wanting to pick them up, and I'm doing so. I can't let myself be put off of starting new series. There are so many good series out there. I have so many subscriptions that are sending me like first books in series or completed series, and I want to read them. I want to start them. I don't want to feel like for the sake of progress on a spreadsheet I have to like only focus on what I'm already reading. So I will be having like a mental focus on series and progressing and continuing things, but if I start 20 series in a year, I'm not even going to feel bad about it. It just is what it is. Another thing that I kind of started doing last year as well was mood reading. Not that I didn't necessarily do this before, but I don't think I made a single TBR all 2023. And as much as I wanted to be making them, because I actually really like making TBRs, and sometimes I would know in my head what I would be reading on a certain month, like I knew my TBR, I just didn't necessarily share it. The reason being, I like that not making a public commitment gives me so much more wiggle room to like change things around, like swap books, swap months, push videos back, that sort of thing, without having to like, I really don't like saying I'm going to read a book in a certain month and then get to the wrap up and it's not there. Like, that sort of thing, it just irritates me. I don't like making a promise and then like not holding myself to it. And I like just being able to say, oh, I don't feel like doing like this reading vlog this month, I'm just going to do it next month and I just want to read something else right now, and I don't want to have to like make that a whole thing, you know? While I've kind of missed doing TBRs, and like I considered doing one for December even, like I really want to make them, it's just I have no idea what to put on them at this point. Mood reading is definitely like something that I'm going to continue. I'm basically just kind of gonna, I like getting to a point where I finish a book and I can just look at everything on my shelves and just say, what do I want to read right now? And not have to worry about, oh, what am I reading for this video? Or what am I doing for this or that or the other? I'm just gonna, like, I'm just trying to give myself like the nicest, easiest time. I just want to enjoy reading for what it is and not as like a commitment, as a statistic, as anything else. Like, I just want to enjoy whatever I want to enjoy when I want to enjoy it. And so that's what I'm doing. Just screw everything else. I'm just gonna read what I want when I want. And it should be that easy. It just should be that easy. Okay, the next two are kind of like fresh goals, and I feel like reading goal number 3 is more of like a reading direction, and I feel like it's probably going to mark like the biggest change on my channel. I mean, not really, I don't think it's going to feel like a lot has changed, but for me it's going to feel like I'm finally doing something that I keep thinking that I am this channel, and then I look at what I'm reading and I'm like, but I'm not, am I? And that is fantasy. 2024 is just the year of fantasy. I'm just going to read all the fantasy. You think I am just a fantasy reader, and like I think I'm a fantasy reader, but then like I look at sometimes the books that I've read and I'm like, why did I read like 4 YA books this month? Or why did I read like these contemporary books that got really hyped and that I like let somebody recommend to me, and like I read like 2 contemporaries or something, or I read this non-fiction. It's like, hang on a minute, I am so a fantasy booktuber. I am so an adult high fantasy girly, and it's like, how many freaking adult high fantasy series do I have on my shelves that have been on my shelves for multiple years that I just haven't started because I keep distracting myself with other stuff that isn't the actual thing that I want to be reading. Like, how often do I pick up my actual favourite genre? It's shockingly little, and I feel like it's because I keep putting things off, thinking like, I'm one of those people where like I put my favorite things off for when I feel like I want them. Like I can't always listen to like my favorite song because I'm like, no, it's not the right time yet. But at the same time, like Broken Binding is sending me so many series that I want to read. I keep buying all these lovely special editions and backing so many things on Kickstarter, and so 2024 is just going to be the year that I just read so much adult fantasy. I want to really make a commitment to some bigger adult fantasy series. There are so many things that I've said I want to start for many years, and it's like I just want to be actually reading them. I don't want to keep saying, oh, like I haven't picked up this or I haven't picked up that or I'm excited for this. It's like I'm just going to start going into all the big hype well-known adult fantasy series that I just haven't read yet, that I've been putting off stupidly for so many years. Like I'm just going to start reading them, and when I start getting like hauling special editions and things, and it's kind of like a big chunky special edition, maybe it will take me all month to read one book, but that's just what I'm going to do. If I only read 1 or 2 books a month because I'm actually reading the things that I want to be reading at a pace that I want to read them at, that's what I'm going to do. And to hell with everything else. To hell with my stats, to hell with like wrap-ups and this and that and the other. Like I just want to read what I actually want to read. And I'm hoping that even though I might end up reading fewer books, and I'm not just going to read, like I am going to read, like if there's a sci-fi that I want to read, I will pick it up. If there is like a new release, like I'm not saying I'm not reading anything else, it's just that I want to shift my focus to like, hey, this is your actual favourite thing, why do you never actually pick it up? So, and hopefully, I'm hoping that that might mean the quality of things that I'm putting out there and like the wrap-ups and reviews and things. Like I am so sick, like look at this past year of reading, I am so sick of reading 3-star books. I am so sick of being like, yeah, this is a 3-star book, it's middle of the road, to be honest I didn't expect any better. I don't want that. I don't want that. I just want to pick up all the books that I think are going to be like 5 stars. If they end up being 4 stars, still better than a 3-star. I'm so sick of reading middle-of-the-road series. I'm so sick of reading generic YA. Why am I not just picking up like the Lycanius trilogy? Why am I not just picking up like Tide Child? Why am I not? I should have read those by now. I've had those sat on my shelves for months. And every time I look at them, I'm so excited about them. And so 2024 is going to be the year where I just say, hey, I'm just reading all the things that I think I'm going to like the most. I just want to give myself the best reading year possible. And even if that means cutting down on the amount that I'm reading, if the quality goes up, that is such a worthwhile trade. I would rather read 5 books in a whole year and have them all be 5 stars than read 100 3-star books in a year. 2024, the year of me just powering my way through fantasy. The year, just all fantasy all the time. I'm really hoping to find some new favourite series. There is so much that I know is out there and hyped, or even really underhyped. I need to get on that shit. Like, why am I not there already? Why am I delaying it? We're not anymore. 2024, year of fantasy. Kind of the last thing I'm going to be doing, which might seem like it kind of clashes with the last goal, but it's part of the thing of me wanting to get a lot of books off of my shelves that either I'm not interested in or I'm not necessarily ever going to pick up. Why am I allowing so much of my shelf space to be taken up by books that I might potentially like but potentially not like? Something where I look at it and I think, oh, it might be alright, it might be a 3-star. And I have so much FOMO about books sometimes, because sometimes a book will look unassuming and it will end up being amazing. And I always want to give a book a chance. There are some books where I just know they're not for me and like they can go. But in an effort to continue keeping my shelves actually the kind of things that I want to read, we all know that I have so many books that I haul on a whim, especially books from like subscription boxes that I don't vet myself. They get sent to me and it's a surprise, and sometimes I'm disappointed and sometimes I'm like, I've never heard of the book before. And they go on my shelves and I don't always read them. They're very pretty, I like to look at them, but like, do I ever pick them up? Part of my aim is going to be any books that I'm kind of unsure, like books that are kind of in the firing line for being unhauled, or just things that I'm gonna like never read, that I'd probably feel like I might DNF or just not be interested in. When I did my last unhaul, I started making a list of books that I would like to do kind of like a try a chapter tag for, or like a read it or unhaul it type challenge. I will make a whole separate video for this fully explaining it, but essentially what I want to do is I have a list of maybe like 50-ish books, and I'm going to be occasionally just like pulling a name like just out of like a cup or a hat or something. The aim is that I'm going to be like giving that book a go, and it's probably going to be something that I maybe don't want to read, which I understand clashes with my goal of like only reading what I do want to read, but it's with the intent of these books I'm trying to be very lenient with. So if I decide I don't like it, I'm just going to allow myself, I'm going to say, hey look, just DNF it, get it off your shelves, put it on eBay, donate it to charity, give it away to a friend, get it off your shelves. That's kind of the goal. to cut down on like all the extra stuff that I have that I think I might like. And like I might, but when I don't have space on my shelves for like the amazing special editions that I actually want to be there, I've got to get rid of some stuff that is just taking up space, you know? I don't need to hoard everything. I realize I am the combination of like a little magpie with like little grabby hands and also a dragon that hoards every shiny book, and it's a dangerous combo. So there might end up being a lot of DNFs in my wrap up come next year, but I feel like it's all in pursuit of helping me get to a point where my shelf is just full of things that I like, which for the most part is adult high fantasy. So when you think about it, it does kind of tie into my last goal. If you kind of squint a bit, I'm kind of trying to like tighten up ship a bit, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give everything its fair chance, but I'm not going to pointlessly hold on to things that I'm like, oh, I'm saving that for like some future something. It's like, no, just get rid of it. I want to cultivate some beautiful wizardy, magey, magical adult fantasy shelves. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting there. I'm getting there with these. But I can't be carrying that much, like, extra bookish baggage with me. It's not useful, and it's not really feasible, let's be honest. And I realise that's 4 goals, and I don't technically really have any more, but I cannot stand even numbers. It has to be an odd number. So my kind of, like, all-encompassing, overall, like, 5th goal is pretty much to kind of continue getting into the attitude that I'm having with this booktube channel of just taking things easy and not trying to like stress myself out about things. A lot of the time I'm stressed about like my vlogs being like over an hour long, and it's like, I don't know how people get them to be like 20 minutes. I really don't. Or like if I end up taking a small break and then posting like 2 book hauls in a row or something, stuff like that, like it irritates me. I don't like them to be next to each other. But at the same time it's like, well, I kind of don't want to stress too much about this channel. This is not like a day job for me. This is not like something that I get, I suppose I technically get paid because like I'm finally monetized, but like it barely, not really. This is just meant to be like a fun hobby for me. It's like a thing that I do. I'm trying to be more easygoing about it. I've kind of started getting more into the swing of like making the kind of content that I like, and I'm trying not to be so like, oh, I have to release this in this month, or like I have to do this vlog before this one or this one because it doesn't make sense. And sometimes during the year, like I've skipped doing wrap-ups because I don't want to spoil like a future reading vlog or something. I'm kind of trying to be easier about being like, it doesn't matter if I skip like a month of wrap-ups and just like do it all at the end of like the next month or something. I'm just kind of trying to be like more easygoing with it, just less stressed about things. I don't want to get to the point where like I'm looking at like numbers and performance and subscribers and things. Like I'm putting content out there mainly for me, and if other people like enjoy it, that's so great. And I like the sort of comments and feedback that I get. I like the sort of, mainly like the interaction and like the bookish discussions and like little fun things that you can do when there is like a little community of people that all kind of like and read the same thing. I like that. I like that side of booktube. I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, oh, I have to post a video at 5 p.m. on Friday every single week of the year. It's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. If I want to take 3 weeks off, I'm taking 3 weeks off. And I've kind of been doing that a little bit and just not really stressing about it. And I think I've been good with it this year. I'm just kind of here when I want to be and not here when I don't. And if you don't see me for like a couple months, just assume my brain's doing something bad. But for the most part, I enjoy being here. It's a more enjoyable experience when I don't have to like commodify it, try and capitalize on anything. Like I just want to do whatever I want to do when I want to do it. And if that's a dumb video that gets like 6 views, then so be it. So I think those are kind of like all my like reading goals for this year. I don't think I've missed anything. Pretty much I just want to like read whatever I want to read, make progress with the things that I actually enjoy, focus on the genres that I want to, and just not stress about things. Like I just want to have a good reading time. All of this is kind of in the pursuit of just like good mental health, which might seem kind of pointless when you have a brain like mine. It's good to try. That's kind of what 2024 is going to look like going forward for me. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Give me some little firework emojis, I think, because like it's been the new year, you know? And let me know, do you guys have any of your own reading goals going forward into 2024? You know, share with me what are basically, I guess, like your bookish, reading, booktube, New Year's resolutions. And with that, that brings me to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed hearing like kind of what I'm going to be doing or like how I'm going to be behaving here. Hopefully, if that appeals to you, maybe I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!